Film Brothers podcast. We got a little bonus episode for you today. No formal movie review. Instead, we're doing a mega draft of sorts. I'm Nathan. This is Michael.
Yep.
And we got a special guest today.
Oh my God.
We are introducing the third brother. This is
Hello?
Roman.
What?
Hello. It's an honor to be
Come on, everybody.
a film brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
You know, I've been a long-standing brother, but it's an honor to be a film brother for this episode. It's a wonderful guest. It's an honor.
Well, we're happy to have you. I feel like this is a good
Super
topic
happy.
for you to join in on. It's always better with more voices, but you have a decent knowledge and understanding of what we're doing today, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to be drafting Marvel movies, not limited to the MCU, any Marvel property that has made a movie. All right. The categories that we have that we will need to draft from are one MCU film, a non-MCU film, an origin film, an origin story, a sequel. We need a Spider-Man film, we need an Xmen film, and we need one bad movie. A movie that we just think is one of the worst things we've ever seen, and it happens to be made by Marvel. So those are the categories. Now, obviously, the way that drafts work, we will take turns picking a film. Once somebody picks that film, it cannot be chosen by anyone else. It's off the board. That's the only place it can be used is on that person's board. Obviously, with some of these categories, there are films that can fall into multiple categories. So that'll be part of the strategy, not only picking which film you want, but deciding where you want to put it based on, what you have planned for your other categories. I think we all understand the rules. We talked a lot pre-recording. Are there anything else we need to clarify amongst each other?
I just want everyone to know I'm really nervous for this.
Are you?
Super nervous. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to go down.
I think this is going to be interesting because I like to think I have a decent idea of which movies you guys like, only because
Wrong.
we have been talking about this for,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
long
think
that's
time.
true. Yeah.
we're all very qualified to know what the other one thinks.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, biggest question I have, though, which we have not decided prior to this, is
Okay.
how are we deciding order?
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of
Turn
dice next to me. Oh wait.
We
but
could do
there's-
that.
I don't trust your dice.
I have my wheel pulled up. So
Oh yeah.
I could
I
spin
do
a
live
wheel.
and die by the wheel.
Just
Okay.
spin,
Die by the
spin that wheel, brother.
So now this is going to be snake
Spin that
draft, meaning
Yes.
whoever picks third will get first pick next time.
Right. Cool.
So we'll just go back and forth, right? So
Yeah.
whoever's on the
Yeah.
first and end will get 2 picks in a row. The person in the middle kind of sucks, I guess. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
I'm
If
gonna
I don't know if
say
there's a great position here. They all
is-
could be good.
I am locked in on what I'm picking first, and I'm gonna be heartbroken if someone takes it from me.
I don't know if I have a strong. I found myself listing a lot of
I
the
haven't
same
thought about
movies
picking
in
first.
multiple categories.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah.
And so I think there are definitely, like, I look at this list and there's some categories that are a little more thin where I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to need to pick that earlier because I don't have a lot of options there. Where other
Yeah.
ones I'm like, I'll save this to the end because I'll probably have my pickings at them. But I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to spin the wheel. I get first overall pick. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to spin again to see who gets second.
Okay.
And second is going to go to Roman.
Yes.
I'm actually
Okay.
really happy about this.
So I am going to pick first here, and I get to pick from any category that I want.
Oh, this is
I'm
crazy.
so scared for this one. This is
terrible. We should have never done this.
I'm so stressed.
I am going to pick from the category of X-Men, only because I don't have a lot here that I love. I'm going to draft Logan first overall.
Dude,
I knew it.
that was the one I wanted. No, that was the one pick I was.
I
scared
had a
about.
feeling, and here's the thing, okay, because we didn't mention it on the podcast, but before we recorded, we mentioned that we need to have seen the movie to draft it, and I know
Yeah.
for a fact Michael has not seen all of Logan, so
Right.
this was a risky
picking
pick
it.
because I could have saved it, but Roman, I know you like this movie, so I had to
Gosh,
get it.
dude. Oh well, I am thrown off the track here now. I'm on the clock, and all my plans are in the gutter. Okay. Oh Oh, wow.
I'm assuming, Michael, you haven't finished Logan the week that we've talked, have you?
I really should have, but I haven't. Instead, I watched Million Dollar Baby.
Oh, okay. I'm going to pick for the Spider-Man category,
Okay.
and I'm really between two movies. Oh, because it's hard, because you could look at it multiple ways, right? It's like, what's the best movie, like what's the best Spider-Man story, or what's the best movie for Spider-Man fans?
Yeah.
And I'm going to go fans and take No Way Home. I think that's the
Okay.
best Spider-Man movie for Spider-Man fans. You know what I mean? Because of everything. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, if you want Spider-Man, I think that's going to be, like, one of the best movies for you.
If we're going by how Spider-Man is this movie, like that's the
I think it's the third most Spider-Man movie, right?
I didn't.
Oh,
think
did
of
you
something.
forget? Oh no.
I'm gonna shut my mouth.
You just
I'm
talked
gonna
yourself
shut my
into
mouth.
a discovery.
You know what? That is a great pick, Rome.
No, it is a good pick. It's a good pick.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yes.
because I get it. If you're thinking about it as the most Spider-Man, I would have gone somewhere else. I won't say, I guess. Should I say? I don't know. But this was
No,
a pick.
because Nathan might not know
Okay.
what I just discovered.
I
What
know.
you helped
I
me
know what
discover.
we're
Because it was tight, and I
I
totally...
got his ass.
It's tight, and there's another option that definitely could be better. But yeah, for me, this is like Spider-Man fans. Like, I can't think of a movie that maybe was like quite
a
as like
Spider-Man
exciting
tribute.
to watch. You know, it just had, you know, it was a movie for the fans. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I want to take it.
No, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick.
No issues. No issues.
Okay.
So you got two
Okay.
picks now. Do you
I
have
got
an
two
idea of
picks.
what your first one's going to be?
Yeah, I don't feel like I need to pick this. If I pick other movies, it's going to force you guys to pick other movies, and I do need these two movies on my list. So,
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm-
Yeah, the strategy's
gonna-
interesting.
yeah, I'm just going to start with something you guys are not surprised whatsoever, but I'm going to pick under the MCU category. Everybody say it with me.
Infinity
War.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
top of my list for that category, yeah.
So, yeah, I wondered if you were going to pick it.
I didn't even
And
write it
it's
down
just-
for what it's worth, but I don't think that surprises
Wow.
you guys.
Either way, I just have to have that on my list.
Yeah.
That would make me sad.
You gotta pick with the heart sometimes.
You know what? I think I messed up.
Already?
Already.
Well, I don't know how to say this.
What could you have messed up? Is there
What
another
could you
MCU film you wanted to take instead?
What's crazy is that there are two films that I would love to have on this list.
Yeah.
But not both of them can be on this list anymore. So I don't think this is going to upset you guys in your top picks, but it will upset you in a different category.
Interesting.
And
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go under the sequel category.
Okay.
We all discussed, but just to let Chad in on what's
Uh-huh.
going on here. Sequel films are allowed to be any continuation from a specific like character story, right? But it doesn't have to be the second one. So I am going to pick the second one. I'm picking Spider-Man 2,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes. Yep.
which ideally would go in my Spider-Man section, but I'm strategically picking it in the sequel section.
Fascinating. So
think
you're
that-
just committing to having two Spider-Man films on your list.
Not a single problem with that. Yeah, I don't think that is going to mess up a lot of your guys' picks, but I do know, I do think maybe Nate wanted Spider-Man 2 as his Spider-Man.
I really like Spider-Man 2. I think I'm okay with letting that one, like letting the decision be
Yeah.
up to you, because there are
Yes.
a lot of Spider-Man films that are really great. So,
Yeah, I felt similar to that as well.
however,
But-
the fact that Roman has picked his Spider-Man film, you still have one. I might need to jump the gun here. I don't know. Like I might have to start.
You know what?
Roman.
Guys,
See,
I
you
was
gonna do?
thinking
This is so-
tactically here about this, and this was coming up. I think for my non-MCU, I'm gonna take Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh.
Because I think it's a great
Boys.
movie. I mean, William Dafoe, amazing, you know, and I
Whoa.
think also tactically it might mess with the Spider-Man picks
Yeah.
for you guys.
I mean, that's really smart.
Wow.
I would have
That's-
picked.
That's
where
really
I was
sad
gonna-
for Nate.
I was gonna have Logan there. That's where I was gonna put Logan. But since
Yeah.
Logan's off the board, I'm going
You
to
weren't even
Tobey.
gonna put Logan in the X-Men category.
No, but the reason for that is I think for me at least there's a few X-Men category options that are comparable, but Logan stands out a lot to me. I feel more confident like I could still maybe have a better X-Men movie. I don't know, with a different I don't know if that makes sense. But Logan to me is a home run. Like that wins almost any category in my heart.
This is insane.
Yeah, this actually is kind of already
because
more
I
unhinged than I
literally
imagined.
have to take a Spider-Man film here. Otherwise, I could be very screwed.
Yes, you could.
So I'm going to take a Spider-Man movie, my Spider-Man category, just because I want that. I want it off my hands. I think I'm going to go Across the Spider-Verse. I do
That's a great pick.
like that one a little better.
Guys, I forgot about those movies.
You did?
Wait!
No.
You didn't catch on?
No, I had no idea what you were talking about.
That's what I discovered.
I just wasn't thinking animated. Of course, that's one of the best Spider-Man movies of all time. My brain wasn't going to animation.
No, I mean same until I talked myself
Until
into
Michael
it.
was literally saying the
Yeah.
most Spider-Man. Oh, wait.
I thought about the movie with the
Yeah.
most Spider-Man in it.
Okay, so let me talk this out, okay? Obviously, Into the Spider-Verse is still on the board. I don't really want both of them. That doesn't feel like a good list to have them both there. That being said, the non-MCU film is also looking a little thin right now. I don't love this pick, but I'm going to have to go with X2.
Dude, that's what I was going to pick for
that's
that
brutal.
category.
There's like very few other non-MCU films that I love. Like that. Yeah, I got to do it. And so here I am with 2 Xmen films on this list. I don't know if that's great, but like I feel like I'm forced to.
Yeah, no, this is
Roman's up. I love how stressed we are. We all none of us are feeling good.
Something I don't want to lose. I don't think I want to lose my MCU film. I'm going to go with Guardians of the Galaxy
For
my
MCU.
MCU
Wow.
movie.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm not sure, or I wasn't sure what you were going to pick.
It's one of those movies where I feel like most people didn't know those characters before that movie. You know what I mean? And like that movie, like, you know what I mean? It's, I love it. The comedy, everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting 2 picks again.
You get 2 picks back to back.
I'm going to go for origin film, which no one has taken
Yeah,
yet.
I'm nervous about
And
what
I
you're
know
gonna
you
take.
guys are all scared about this one.
Yep, I am.
It's honestly a toss-up for me between these 2 films.
Well, then take
Okay.
how
the
much
other
they
one.
mean to me, but I know which one is going to send you boys scrambling.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm going to let you guys have it and be true to myself.
Okay.
I'm going to pick for origin film Iron Man.
That's the one I wanted. What?
That was my first.
Wrong. You guys are I'm not going to say it. You guys are come on. Get out of here. You guys are lying.
No.
That was my first.
I think I know what you're
No.
insinuating.
Come on. Guys, what are
I
we
think
talking
I know
about
what you're
here?
insinuating
But
too.
this is a much
Yeah, you
better
do.
movie.
I just thought we were like picking the movies that we wanted, you know what I mean?
If
Yes,
we're
I
going
want
there,
this
then
one.
for sure I'm gonna go for I guess the other one.
If you guys aren't being honest with yourselves, that's fine. But, you know. Okay, so for my next pick, I think this would maybe end up being Roman's pick here.
Interesting.
I don't know how to say this.
I
Basically,
think it could be.
am gonna secure non-MCU film
Uh-huh.
into the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, he's
I
probably
thought-
okay with that because that would only fit into one other category for him.
In my head, I was thinking maybe it wasn't gonna qualify for anyone else's, but then I realized I'm like, oh, I know Nathan wasn't gonna pick it for origin film, but Roman still could.
Dang, that's good thinking.
And I'm not picking that to not get it on your list. I just want you to know
Yeah,
I
no, I
really
getcha.
wanted that movie on my list. So
I think I regret every choice at this point on my list. Something that I want to hit a home run on, and to me this is a home run, and at least nothing comes to mind that can compare fully to me in my heart, and the amount of hatred that I had for this movie. The amount of bad blood that I share.
What?
And that is for the bad movie being Morbius.
Oh.
yep, that was on my list.
It's my only half star on Letterboxd. You know, I think what gets me the most about Morbius is that there are aspects to it that is cool. I don't dislike the acting and the effects, but so it upsets me so much that like I see the potential and then I just watch it get absolutely demolished by the writing.
I haven't seen Morbius.
Oh, wow.
It came out, I want to say, like a month or 2 after my child was born, so I wasn't going to the movies a lot and was definitely not
child.
going to rush out for
Yeah.
that one. Is it true? Was Michael Keaton
Yeah.
in that one? As Vulture?
Yes, it was,
He was,
like the worst written scene ever.
Because I remember that in the
It
trailer.
was the post credit, right?
Yeah.
It's a post-credit
so
scene?
wild.
He's just a post credit.
Okay, it's my turn. I only
Yeah,
have
go ahead, take your turn. I don't
one
care.
origin film left. I think this is what you thought I was going to take. Is it Captain America?
That's right.
Yeah, that
Look,
was the one you thought.
my
for both of
boy.
us, right? Yeah.
He is clearly like one of my favorite characters.
I know.
I would say this film is my least favorite of his three, though. It's a
Yeah, I
great
guess I'd
origin
agree.
story.
We're talking about origin film.
I know.
I'd agree.
Like, so as
Yeah.
an origin film, as like a story,
Right.
it's really well done. And I remember like watching this in theaters and seeing, like, you were just not sure how this was going to work out because you knew that this was going to
Yeah.
lead to an Avengers movie. You're like, what the heck? He's like in World War II. And then all of a sudden it's like the ending hits and it's like, whoa.
I would say I feel like Captain America is one of the most monumental MCU films. There's something about it, and I think the way that it just like crushed, like you said, this origin story, and then also like properly led into like the beginnings of like the Avengers film was like like mind shattering. I don't think all of us knew that could happen. Yeah, I'll never forget coming out of the theaters from that. That was like, oh my god, like what are we about to watch? Like this is crazy.
Okay. For my second pick, I'm going to save MCU film because both of you have picked it. There's a couple sequels I could still do. So I'm going to do Bad Movie because this is like, to me, my number one. This is also half star for me on Letterboxd. I'm so fascinated on how bad this movie is. It blows my mind watching this and just, it's just madness. But I'm going with the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Oh, wow, you did. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought
yeah.
you were going somewhere else. I
No,
was gonna
this
pick
is
that.
to me like
Yeah.
there's so much about it that is just like infuriating to watch.
Miles Teller, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah, is that the one where they get their name and he's like, "What's that word you just said? Say that again." Fantastic.
Well, they don't
Yeah.
actually say it. It
Oh,
jumps
right.
to the credit when he's about to say
It's
it.
so
Or no,
bad.
he does say the word fantastic. He goes like, because the thing's just kind of saying it. He's like, well, what can we say? It's fantastic. He's like, what'd you say? It's fantastic. He's like, say it one more time. And then the credits hit.
Oh gosh. Okay. I think the category I'm most worried about here, I guess between me and Michael, I suppose, is Xmen. So I think I want to
Yeah,
grab that.
you guys still need
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna go with X-Men. Just
the first
just
one.
the first X-Men.
Great pick. Great movie.
It's an X-Men-y film. You know what I mean? There's not much more explaining that needs to happen. Yeah.
Okay, wait. So I get one pick here now?
You get two.
I get two again?
Yes.
I'm going to go. Oh, this is tough because No. I mean, I got to be true. I'm going to go Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? No,
I'm doing
I respect that for
I
sure.
And
think
I
that's
do
the
think-
best of all these.
Obviously, that movie's gotten a lot of hate. I think it's come around, since then.
Yeah, it's having a resurgence.
It's not the best movie, but, given the circumstances, obviously Spider-Man 2 was going to be my first pick in a Spider-Man movie category than Spider-Man. I don't have a problem with Spider-Man 3 on this list. I think it's a great movie. I mean, growing up as a kid, it was a wild time. That dark Spider-Man suit, it got all of us going crazy.
to see three
I mean-
villains in one movie was unheard of.
Yeah, so I'm going to do Spider-Man 3, and then, yeah, I think for X-Men, I'm going to do X3 as well.
Wow.
As
Okay.
weird as that is,
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that, keeping with the trilogies.
Yeah, no,
They're not
it's
the best films in there, but I think those are still acceptable films.
it's not as bad as people make it out to be. And I won't say it's my favorite, but like it's not as bad. Let's just say that. It's still got some
Yeah.
really cool things in it. And like that end scene when they're all fighting after Magneto brings the bridge over to the island, it's pretty cool. Okay, Roman, you have an origin film or a sequel. You get one pick
I have
here.
so many regrets. I'm definitely taking sequel because that's what
Okay.
you have up for grabs as well. I'm gonna go with Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier, just like, when I think of sequel, I mean, I know it could be the third, but like, I'm thinking about a follow-up film and whatnot, and I think Captain America and the Winter Soldier, it's one of my favorite MCU movies. It plays so beautifully off the first one, and I feel like just extends the character. And the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D., I mean, that's huge, especially for the MCU. I feel like we forget about, Shield a little bit, but that movie, like the Shield fell, you know what I mean? Like in that movie, like that was crazy. And it's the introduction of Sam Wilson, you know what I mean, who obviously is taking the torch now.
It's the first Russo brothers MCU
Oh,
film.
really? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I love the fighting in it so much. I've talked myself into feeling even better about that.
Yeah, no, it's one of,
No, you're not alone.
It's one of my
This
favorite
is-
MCU films. I will say I don't think I would have picked it only because I do have the first Captain America, and I don't know if I wanted all that on my board, but
Sure.
Now you can pick
I-
what I know you're gonna pick.
well, yeah, no, I mean I'm
Well.
gonna pick Endgame. I got it for sequel.
Okay.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Actually, that threw me for a loop. Not gonna lie.
What do
I
you think I
wasn't
was gonna
expecting
say?
that.
I kind of absolutely. I thought you were gonna say Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, I thought about that.
No, yeah, no, I didn't even write that down. I like Thor Ragnarok.
Oh,
I
I thought that was your movie.
rewatched all the Thor movies before Love and Thunder, which was now 2 years ago maybe, and I don't
yeah.
think Ragnarok stood like I don't know.
No.
It didn't.
I will
was-
say it does not hold up.
It
Right.
was never my favorite.
I think when we saw it, because we saw it in theaters together, and
Yep.
it was during like this weird period of the MCU. I think like Doctor Strange just came out, and what else came out that summer? I don't remember. But like,
Love Doctor Strange, by the way.
yeah, no, it's good,
Just
but
so
it
you
wasn't
know.
like big crowd pleasing and whatever like some of the
Yeah.
other ones. So like when we saw Thor Ragnarok, we're like, oh, it's the new Thor, we'll go, and I think we loved it at the time. Like it was so
Yeah.
funny. I think Taika Waititi was like a new voice that like I wasn't really familiar with. So like to hear
Yeah,
his
well-
style of humor for like the first time, it felt fresh as opposed to now almost seeing a little too much of him pop up and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was like the first. Was it not like the first like heavily comedic, like MCU film?
Well,
was Ant-Man before that or
Guardians of
after?
the
Well,
Galaxy would have been in 2014.
Okay,
it was
sure.
certainly a breath of fresh air for Thor because we're coming off of Dark
Yeah.
World.
Yeah,
right?
it was a
So-
rebrand for his character.
Yes, and I think that was what was really attractive about it.
Okay, no, I mean, I think Endgame as a sequel film, that is a banger pick. I mean, that's kind of crazy actually that went on there, like that you're getting it this late.
I mean, I'll just say
Right.
the other one I was going to pick because this won't fall in other categories. I would have gladly taken Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yes, I thought
Yeah.
you might have. That was a thought in my
Yeah,
mind.
I know
'cause,
not everyone
it's a great follow.
Not everyone agrees, but my take has always been like that is my favorite Guardians film. I like it significantly
It is
better than
really
the first
good.
one.
Wow.
So like I would have been happy with that one, but like I can't not take Endgame. It's right there. It's like it's on a platter for me right now. Okay, so I have an MCU film left. I don't know if this is like my favorite MCU film of what's left, but like to me, I think this is such a strong and maybe even like unique pick compared to other stuff on my list. So I kind of want some, I don't know, different things on here. I'm gonna take Black Panther.
I was so sad that I was thinking this movie would not make it on any of our lists, and I felt like that was a crime.
Was
'Cause
this
I'm
the
so sad
original
that I don't
mistake
have
that
it.
you made?
Yeah,
I thought
absolutely.
so. Yes.
absolutely. Once I realized
Yeah, that's
that
what
I
I
couldn't
thought.
put it anywhere else, I
Because
was
it's not
so sad.
it's not an origin film.
Yeah, when we were talking about it, Black Panther was on my origin list, but then when you guys clarified, before the podcast, like that, yeah, I guess it's not the birth of the Black Panther in this movie, right? You know what I mean? It's a mantle that he gets
Right.
in
It,
this
it,
movie.
it doesn't
So-
follow the tropes of an origin story.
In
right.
term of MCU films, for me, like top 3 would be Infinity War, Iron Man, and Black Panther.
Okay.
Like without
Yeah.
a doubt. So I was bummed, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This would.
But- so
I
I'm-
would
but I'm glad
say
someone
this
picked
falls
it.
in top 5, maybe. I don't know. I think like it's not one I personally like love, but I think I respect it a lot because of how it's like both formulaic in some ways, but also very fresh. And I think that's
Yeah.
like some of my favorite type of
It is.
movies is like where, oh, I see what you're trying to do, and I see how you're almost intentionally doing it differently.
Well,
Yeah,
Madness.
sick as hell.
All right, Roman, give us your
That's a good
origin
pick.
film.
I waited too long for this spot.
I don't know what you're gonna pick.
I think this won't come to like maybe not everybody's minds, but I think if you really think about my pick, I think it has a very beautiful and significant character arc and change, and that's
Okay.
Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I mean, if you kind of just think about he is kind of it's not too, he doesn't start off too dissimilar a place from, I feel like, Tony Stark, where it's kind of a much more self-serving personality, not like really thinking about others as much, versus like where he ends up at the end of the movie. I mean, Doctor Strange, yeah, he starts out as like the most selfish, kind of pretentious, like rich doctor who like clearly doesn't really care about his patients, you know what I mean? And he just wants to be the top. But you know, he ends up, I mean, versus Dormammu, he's like repeatedly dying for like, I don't think we ever know how long. He's in a time loop, getting himself killed for like infinity, just to annoy Dormammu out of a, like, so he just ends up making like one of the most significant sacrifices that I can imagine to be infinitely killed repeatedly. So like where he starts and where he ends up, and I think it's still a solid origin film.
No, I agree with that. That was lower on my list as an option just in case. I think it's a great film. Rewatched it like a year ago or so, and yeah.
I mean, also the visuals. The visuals are just spectacular.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
All right, Michael. Bad movie.
Madam Web.
You know, I would have considered that if I had seen it.
Same.
See, I didn't consider that you guys hadn't seen this film.
Can you explain to us what is so bad about it, other than like the obvious of like things that we probably assume, but like to you as someone who has seen this movie, like
so
what is it like?
And when I was watching this, I was trying my best to give it its fair shot.
Yeah.
And even after seeing it, I was still like, you know, it's not the worst I had seen. And I stand by that. I don't think it's the worst I've seen. And I do feel like it is slightly overhyped for how bad it was. But I don't think anyone is wrong in saying it is bad. Like, I think if anyone saw this movie, they would give it a thumbs down versus a thumbs up. And so I understand how it has gotten here, right? It is just, it's very strange. This story is just extremely convoluted. I mean, you've got actors like Sydney Sweeney and what's her face, just like playing characters that are just like clearly not the age that they are. Like, I know Sydney Sweeney is famously good at playing a high schooler, but something about, it looked like they tried to make her look like a middle schooler. Like, I don't know. The costume design, everything was whack. The acting was terrible. I felt like the first half of the movie had a slightly compelling storyline, and you were like, okay, I see what's happening. But then it was one of those things where, like, as they're introducing the villain, it's like, oh, he's just a bad guy. Like, every scene with him is just, like, dark music. It's like, oh, he's a bad guy. For no reason, he's just a bad guy. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But there's some stuff that happens at the end of the movie that is, it's just wild.
I think it's know wild. How it ends.
That's when, okay, because it's the ending that solidified to me, like, okay, yeah, this movie sucks.
I'll be honest, like, I'm looking at it now. I didn't realize... Can I talk about this, Roman? I'm reading the... Do you care?
I don't mind.
I was aware that it ends with the birth of Peter Parker, or like...
What?
Yes.
Dude, stop.
I knew about
or
that.
Or what we think it is. It's...
I guess I don't even know about Madam Web. Is Madam Web supposed to be a character that exists before Spider-Man?
I mean, I don't know, and that's definitely confusing for me. But you guys should watch the movie.
I'm just shocked, like, because I don't think I fully realized it was supposed to be an actual like Spider-Man origin film in a way. Okay, let's run through our list right now. What a
fitting way to end this list.
To read the Wikipedia plot of Madam Web. Okay, Michael's list. MCU film, Infinity War. Non-MCU, Into the Spider-Verse. Origin film, Iron Man. Sequel, Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man film, Spider-Man 3. X-Men film, X-Men The Last Stand. Bad movie, Madam Web. Wait, so technically you have 4 Spider-Man films on here.
It did end up slightly strange, I will say. I don't think it's a bad list. It is a funny list, though.
Well, since Infinity War also features Spider-Man, you only have 2 movies on this list that don't have Spider-Man in them.
And nobody's mad about that.
5 out of your 7 movies have a Spider-Man. And I think... No, you don't have every Spider-Man. You don't have it. There's no Andrew Garfield here. I was going to say, you almost have every...
I wanted to pick The Amazing Spider-Man instead of Spider-Man 3. Not going to lie. but it felt, I don't know, it felt weird.
All right, let's go through Roman's list. His MCU film, Guardians of the Galaxy. Non-MCU, Spider-Man. Origin film, Doctor Strange. Sequel, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. Spider-Man, No Way Home. Xmen, bad movie, Morbius. So again, Roman kind of has 3 Spider-Man movies on here.
Dude,
How we feeling?
I don't like it. I don't like my list. I think as I'm relooking at it, I think I know what happened to me, and it was just from the get-go, my picks were getting taken, right? Like when you took Logan, but what happened was I think I went into panic mode. And it just completely threw me off, because then also when Infinity War was taken, I was like, I don't know. Yeah, I just
I mean, the format was crazy.
I got thrown off, and like I don't hate this list. I don't think any of these placements are like bad, for sure. I just think definitely I could have done better, I think. Yeah. Especially as I'm looking at your guys' list.
No, I mean, I don't think anyone
impressed.
has a bad list here. I'm not trying to set you guys up to sabotage yourselves. It's just,
I
it's
agree.
very
I don't
funny
think it's
to hear your reaction when I simply list off the movies you picked.
Yeah, no, it is funny. Yeah, I'm not like, I don't hate it, but I do have regrets for sure. But but I don't hate it.
Okay, my list.
We don't have to talk about Nathan.
MCU film, Black Panther. Not MCU, X2. Origin film, Captain America, The First Avenger. Sequel, Endgame. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. X-Men, Logan, and bad movie, Fantastic Four. I feel pretty good. I don't know. Here was a kind of a goal of mine, is I did want like a variety of stuff, and I think I got that. I'm happy that I'm the only Fantastic Four here anywhere, because like that is like an iconic Marvel thing, despite them not having a lot of movies.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel okay. I think there's obviously like some movies I would have wanted over other ones. I'm kind of bummed, like, because you guys swiped the first 2 Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I really would love to have one of those, but I think Across the Spider-Verse is perfectly adequate for this list.
Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of just fitting every category and diversity, I feel like you might actually have the best list.
I would agree.
Are there any other movies that we didn't mention yet? I think there's a couple other bad ones. I definitely had Daredevil as an option. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that one.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
no.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I had two bad ones actually. So I had Morbius was my number 1. New Mutants was my number 2.
Horrible.
I don't know if you guys even remember that.
I didn't see that one.
I had to explain to Michael last week on the podcast that movie came out. He didn't know it was released.
Right.
And then I had Carnage at number 3, because I personally think it's worse than Venom.
I need to watch it.
Yeah, I was debating, and I'm not that surprised, but I thought maybe Deadpool would make it somewhere, since he's kind of fitting everywhere now. Deadpool 3 is in the MCU and could fit a lot of places. Deadpool 1 technically is within X-Men, but also non-MCU. And
Deadpool was one of those where it was an option to where it's like I didn't need it on the list, but like that's one where I think I would have been okay with that being a non-MCU film.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Pick for me, where I'm like, I should have remembered that I could have fallen back on that.
Yes.
And play something a little better.
Sure, like have that as a backup. Yeah, I mean, Deadpool just isn't a character I am attached to, so I don't know if I ever would have drafted one of those, but I think if you're looking at the list, I think the general consensus would be that like people do like those movies,
The other film I was going to bring up was I'm surprised the Avengers didn't make it on this list
that's
either.
true.
I thought maybe it would.
Well, that one's
true.
tough, because I think the only place it could have fit in is the MCU.
I wondered if we were going to classify it possibly as an origin story. If I had to, I was going to maybe make that argument.
I would have heard it out. I don't know where we would, but I think that's a tough one, and there were a couple films, and that's why I saved Black Panther for so long, because I knew there were certain films that this only really fits one category. I'm just gonna list off some other ones real quick. There's the Blade trilogy, which I don't think any of us are
I've never seen.
Right, that's not one that's oh my gosh, I think they're good, but wasn't gonna happen probably. Both Hulk movies. There's the Punisher, Ghost Rider. You know, like the MCU did have a lot of like
Yeah.
not MCU stuff in like you know
Yeah.
the 2000s that
Yeah, for a long time.
I think some of them could be overlooked, you know, and underappreciated, but I just probably not going to make this list. And then like there's the newer X-Men films like First Class or Days of Future Past that I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
could have reached here.
I was thinking about him, but
Yeah, I almost did First
The
Class.
list I'm looking at, I'm glad we didn't have to get to this argument, but I'm just going to throw it out there that technically the Men in Black franchise is a Marvel
What?
property. Yeah, it was.
Really?
It's a Marvel comic. Again,
I had no
not like
idea.
superhero, but it's Marvel. Same thing with Kingsman,
Yeah.
like the whole Kingsman
What?
franchise.
I had no idea about that.
You know,
either.
I saw that in the IMDb list,
Wow.
and I was so confused.
That's
what the
crazy.
deal
Yes,
was with that.
again, it's technically like the company Marvel released
Wow.
a comic about the Kingsman, right? So like,
Wow.
I don't know. I'm glad we didn't have to go down that road and try to sort it out. And then there's also like
Yeah.
Big Hero 6, which is like just random. But that is
That's
a,
Marvel. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Okay, well, I would have for sure had that on my list.
Yeah,
Origin
wait.
story. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
yeah. So there we go.
Wow.
There's our Marvel draft. Feeling good. I liked it. That was fun.
No, that was a good
It was
time.
a good time.
I-
I need more draft practice, I think.
I agree. You
I got
know?
panicked.
I'd love to do this again sometime. I
Yes.
think it's super fun.
Maybe
Um,
we'll get a fourth brother here and see if we can really be competitive.
Yes, a brother in Christ. Of
Oh,
course.
yes, of
I know a
course.
couple.
Of course.
No, this is great. It was super nice having a third brother here. It
Yeah.
upped the ante and made it way more fun. And it's nice that I feel like we got to see all the good movies on here too, or most of them.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode. I don't know. Tune in next week, right? We'll probably talk about more movies or something.
I'm sure we'll do something.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.